base class, a derived class, again one more derived class. Chain structure. Is it? So we create object for derived class. If I take class A, class B, and class C. Class A, class B, class C. Class A properties are inherited to class B. Class B properties are inherited to class C. Okay. So to which class we create object? Class C. So I have to create object for class C. Understood? If class A having constructor, if there is a constructor, to class B also, class C. Every class having constructor. So this class having a data member x, that is integer type. Here I take y and z. We want to initialize x, y and z. X belongs to class A, y belongs to class B, and z is a data member of class C. You know how to initialize data member using constructor. So, which is the derived class, final derived class is a C, class C. So, this class I will create object. When we create object, the class constructor will be invoked. So, when we create obj, the class C constructor will be invoked. Okay. Then how to initialize x and y? When x and y value will be initialized? When the class A constructor executes, then x value will be initialized. When class B constructor will execute, then y value will be initialized. How to invoke that constructor? So we have to pass initial values through this constructor, through the constructor of class C. So class C, one data member, B and having another, and A having one more data member. Total, how many data members you want to initialize? 3 data members. Understood? So class B is the immediate parent class of class C. Class C is class A is an immediate parent class of class A. So this class constructor has the responsibility to pass initial values to its parent classes. So total, how many parameters I have to pass to this class? 3 parameters. One for class C, another for class B, and another for class A. Isn't it? Total, how many? 3 parameters I have to pass. But at this stretch, we cannot pass these parameters to B and C. From class C, we cannot pass initial values to B and A. We can pass only the immediate parent class. Okay? ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿನ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳ್ಸೋಕೆ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದರದ್ದು ಮೇಲೆ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟಿಗೆ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ವಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ C is a derived class of class B. Understood? Total, how many parameters it requires? 3 parameters. Of course, we are passing from main function, and those parameters are stored in a formal arguments of class C constructor, and those parameters are distributed like one for class A, another for class B, and another for class C. But one more thing you need to observe: the class C directly cannot initialize class A also. Class A is directly initialize ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಳಿಸಬಹುದು? ಅದರ immediate parent class. Who is the immediate parent class here? B. Class A is a grandparent. It cannot pass that value. ಇದಕ್ಕಷ್ಟೇ ಕಳಿಸೋಕೆ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. So this class having rights to pass initial values to its parent class. Class A is the immediate parent class of class B. So class B ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಿದೆ? Class B y and x. Class B constructor have the responsibility to pass initial value to its parent class. Who is the parent class of class B? Class B. Understood? So class B, its data member is y. It has to initialize the value to its data member, and also it has to pass initial value to its parent class. Who is the parent class here? Class A is the parent class. So how many parameters it requires? Class B, 2 parameters. Class C, how many parameters? 3 parameters. one for class C and 2 for class B and class E. Okay, so when we pass 3 parameters from main function, the class 3 constructor receives all 3 parameters and one parameter for its own class, and it has to pass 2 parameters to its parent class, class B. Again, it will be distributed like this, one for class B and another for class C. Understood? So, I'll repeat, class C is a derived class. Through this class object, we have to initialize the base classes. The object of class 3 must have 3 parameters. Why I have taken 3 parameters? Though class C wants to initialize only one data member in this class, class C having only one data member, it wants to initialize only one data member. One data member is required, it's enough to this class, but I am passing 3 parameters here. Why? One for class C, another for class B and another for class A. Collectively we are passing our parameters from here. And these 3 parameters are received by class C constructor. Then it initializes any one of these to its own data member Z. Z own value initialize ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. And remaining 2 parameters are passed to class B. Okay. Then class B has to decide which data member it wants to initialize to Y and which I have to pass to base class. So again, class B, when class C passes 2 parameters to class B, then class B, it takes one data member to its own data member, one parameter to its own data member, and another parameter it passes to its parent class. But initialization takes place from base class to derived class. So from main function, I pass 3 values to this class C. It takes one parameter and it passes 2 parameters to its parent class. Again, this parent class, class B, it takes only one data member and remaining it passes to base class. Now base class constructor will be initialized, then derived class, class B constructor, later class C constructor will be initialized. Understood? Let us write the program. Class A protected int X. Class B colon public A protected colon 8y class C colon public B. B is a derived class of A and C is a derived class of B. Okay, now in the protected section I will take the data member Z in Z. Simple. Now I'll write in the public section and display the values. So, wait, I did not take constructor. No, I must take constructor. In public A. Name of the class is A. No? So constructor name also A. In P. X is equal to P. Parameterized constructor, I am taking parameterized constructor. Some parameter will come to P and P value will be initialized to X. Semicolon. Here I take class B colon class B. Why? In the public section, name of the constructor is B because class name is B in M in M. Now y I have taken two formula arguments here, two parameters here. One for its data member and another for its parent class. Here I must write and write from here so that I can have space. In among these two data members, which data member, which parameter you want to pass to its base class, you can choose that. Colon, this is the way to pass initial value to its parent class constructor. What is the parent class here? B parent class is A. The name of the class is A. I want to pass n value, so I will write n here. So which value I want to initialize to y? M value. So y is equal to m close class close. Another class C colon public. Class C is a child class or derived class of class B. Here I will take the data member Z in, I make that protected int Z. So I want to initialize Z public colon C, name of the class is C, so constructor name also C. C is the last class, that is a derived class. It has to pass us two parameters to its parent classes, one for B, another for A. In, I take ABC. In P, in Q, in R. Okay. This class requires only one parameter. I will initialize Z is equal to P and remaining two I will pass to its parent classes. How? Who is the immediate parent class of class C? B. So we have derived class C from class B. So who is the parent class, immediate parent class of class C? Class B. So class B requires how many parameters? Two parameters. So class C has to pass two parameters to its parent class. B open close. Which value or which parameter you want to pass, you can choose. Here I want to initialize Z with the value of P and I want to pass a Q and R to its parent class. If you want to initialize Q to Z, you can pass P and R to its parent class. That is left to you. Now I display void this cout insertion x is equal to x backslash n, y is equal to C here. Class C, its responsibility is to initialize its data member and also its parent class data members. So total it has to take three parameters from the main function. So I have declared three parameters P, Q and R, and its immediate base class is class B. Its job is to initialize its own data member and its parent class. So this constructor requires two parameters. That's why I pass two parameters from here. Now I display cout insertion Z is equal to Z. Semicolon. Let us see the main function. Void main. To which class should I create object? Class C. C obj. The class C constructor having how many parameters? Three parameters. So I must pass three parameters. I pass 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now 2 copy to P and 3 goes to Q and 4 goes to R. 2, 3 and 4. Among these three, I'll initialize the value of P to Z. So what is the value of Z now? 2. Because P value is 2, that is assigned to Z, so Z gets the value of P, that is 2. Then, but not at this moment, just you have to remember, P gets the value of 2, Q value of, 3 will copy to Q and 4 goes to R. Now these two values are passed to its parent class, Q and R. What is there in Q and R? 3 and 4. These two parameters are goes to its parent class. So that's why we have taken two parameters here. Now Q value will be copied to M, 3, and R value goes to N. Now N value will be passed to its parent class, 4. Isn't it? Now I have taken one parameter here, the 4 copy to P, then initialization starts from here. ಈಗ initialization start ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಏನಾಗಿದೆ parameter ಗೆ copy ಆಯಿತು. Now the actual process will be started. Now P value assigned to X. So base class constructor will be invoked. So base class data member will be initialized. After that, derived class M value will be initialized to Y. Then P value initialized to Z. Finally, to display X is equal to X. What is there in X? 4. 4 will be displayed. So I must call display function. Unless we call function, it won't execute. Object dot display. Continuous semicolon. Then main function close. Understood? So what is the main point here? In multi-level inheritance, it's a chain-like structure. The derived class has to pass initial values to its immediate parent class. Okay? At the stretch, it won't pass all base classes of the derived class. And the class C base class yaru class A matte class B. Class A indirectly class A kuda base class. But class C have the responsibility to pass all initial values. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸಿ ದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಎಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ನ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಬರೆದಿರೋದು. ದೋ ಇಟ್ initializes only one parameter, I have declared 3 parameters here. One for its own base, its own data member, and 2 for its parent class. Who is the immediate parent class? B. But for B or B, there is a parent class A. Now B constructor have the responsibility to initialize its own data member and to pass a value to its parent class. That's why total ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕು, how many parameters are required, we must declare here, and we have to distribute 1 for its class, 2 for its parent class. Again, to this class, one more parent class is there. So this is the derived class of this class. Its job is to distribute these two, one for its own class, another for its parent class. Now initialization takes place from base class to derived class. Understood? So this is about constructors in multi-level inheritance. Okay. Next concept, constructors in multiple inheritance. What is multiple inheritance? We all know multiple inheritance means class which is derived from 2 or more base classes. Is it? The pictorial representation is like this now. Class which is derived from two or more base classes. This is multiple inheritance. Let us consider two base classes and one derived classes to understand easily. Class A, class B and class C. Okay. If class A having a data member X, class B 1 and class C 7. We want to initialize these data members. So class A having a constructor, parameterized constructor. Okay. So X is equal to 3. See here, what you have to observe. For class C, two parent classes are there. When you consider multi-level, what we discussed before, with multi-level inheritance, it will be like this now, multi-level, and it is multiple. Class C having two base classes, but not immediate parent classes. It's a chain-like structure in multi-level. It's an immediate parent class. So its job is to pass initial values to only this class. Right? Idrದ್ದು parent ಯಾರು class B ಅಷ್ಟೇ immediate parent. ಇದರ ಕೆಲಸ ಏನು initial values ನ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳಿಸೋದಷ್ಟೇ ಇದೆ ಕೆಲಸ. Later this class has to pass initial value to its parent class. Okay? Here also class C having two parent classes, and those two parent classes are immediate parent classes. So class C has the responsibility to pass initial values to class A and also class B. Right? Class C de kilsa. Class C constructor has to pass initial values to both class A and class B. For these two classes, who has to pass the values? Class C only. But in this case, though yes, of course, class C has to pass initial values to its parent classes A and B. Right? Class C de kelsa more argument beke one for class C and one for class B and another for class A. Isn't it? But class C directly won't initialize directly, it won't pass initial value to its base class. In this example, so what you have to observe, here class C directly it has to initialize both class A and class B. Only A different to class C that अभी direct आगे pass ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ class A ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ class B. In this example, directly it passes the values to its parent class, class B. Okay, so it won't directly pass to class A. Class A ಗೆ direct ಆಗಿ pass ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Class B ಅಷ್ಟು direct ಆಗಿ pass ಮಾಡೋದು. Then class B, class A data member get the value from class B constructor. Are you understanding this difference? Here also class C having two parent classes. Here also class C having two parent classes. But in a multi-level, there is a rule. Not only multi-level, there is one rule. A derived class has to pass initial values to its parent class, its immediate parent class constructor. So who is the immediate parent class here? B is the immediate parent class. So it has to pass arguments to B. Then its job is over now. Now B's responsibility is to initialize its parent class constructor. So B has the responsibility and it takes care of that job, that is passing argument to its base class. Alright? Okay, class C direct ಆಗಿ ಕಳಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ, through B ಕಳಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ class C directly it passes the arguments or parameters to its base class constructors. Then how to write that instruction in the program? Let us see. Header files, I should include IOStream, I should include column. Class A, open flat bracket. In the protected section, int x, public section, we must put the constructor here. Name of the constructor is same as its class name, so I have to write A here. Int x is equal to t, close class. Now another class B. The structure will be like this, no? Class A, class B and class C. So class B is a separate class, protected, colon, int y, public, colon, B, open parenthesis, int, okay, q here, y is equal to q, close. Now we have to derive class C from class A and class B. We all know the syntax, how to derive a class from two or more base classes and multiple inheritors. Class C, colon, I'll inherit both classes in a public mode, public A, public, comma, public. These minute things you should not forget. You must write comma here. After inheriting one class, to take another class, we have to write comma operator. Public B. Usually students will make mistakes in such instructions. So colon, comma, space, we have to observe these things. In a protected section, int z alpha, public, and right here, public, colon, C here. C is a derived class of class A and class B. So class A and class B are the immediate parent classes of class C. So class C directly it has to pass parameters to its base class constructors. What are the base classes here? Class A and class B. This is the class A constructor and it is the class B constructor. So this constructor requires one parameter and this constructor requires one parameter. Who has to pass these parameters to these two constructors? Class C has to pass because it is the immediate child class of these two classes. Now total how many parameters are required for class C constructor? 3 parameters. That's why we have to take 3 formal arguments in the constructor declaration, constructor definition. Name of the constructor is C. Int, I take int m, int n, int r I take here. Okay. Now the class C having one data member Z, I want to initialize this data member. So which value you want to initialize, you can choose among these 3. I'll take m here. Okay. Now we have to distribute these two to its parent classes. Which value you want to pass, either m or n, to which classes? I want to initialize, I want to pass n to class A and r to class B. So I must write like this, colon, here I will write A, n, comma, B, r. This is the way to pass initial values to the base class constructors in multiple inheritance. Understood? Void display. Cout. To say the values, whether those values are initialized properly or not, let us display those values. X is equal to X backslash n. Cout. Y is equal to Y semicolon. Cout. Z is equal to Z. Now main function, void main. Now we have to create object for class C. Name of the class is C. Obj. How many parameters we have to pass here? 3 parameters. After 10, 20 and 30 here. After writing class name, you have to leave space here. Obj 10, 20, 30 semicolon. Now 10 goes to M. N gets the value 20 and R 30. Among these three, I have taken M value for Z. So M value is 10. Now I am passing N value to the base class constructor A. Base class A constructor N value, that is 20. And base class B constructor gets the value of R, that is 30. Okay. Now initialization. From where initialization has to start? Iga eradu same level alla ide, onde level alla ide. A B eradu immediate parent class. Yav class ge first initialize agutte. That is depends on the order of inheritance. Illi yaru first inherit madidira, class A na or class B na. That is depends on this order of inheritance. Understood? See here. If I write like this, if I take B, if I take A here, either B class B ge R value, class A ge N value, ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ order change ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. It doesn't matter. The order you are writing here, where in the constructor, it doesn't matter. What we have to consider here? The order. In which order you have inherited? Whether A first or B first. ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ first inherit ಮಾಡಿದಿರಾ ಅದು ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. In the derived class header, okay, derive ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ first ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Though you have written B here, it goes to A first. It initializes class A. So in order to avoid confusion, let us write the same order here. B, R. Understood? I repeat this. You all know always base class constructor executes first, then derived class constructor. In this example, A and B are the base classes of class C and they are in the same level. So A and B, okay. Then these two are in the first level. That is one level A and B. So which class constructor executes first? That is the question here. Okay. Derived class, it already passes the initial values to its parent classes. It's already passed. Then which class constructor executes? That is depends on the order how you have inherited here. First class A inherit ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ B inherit ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ ಯಾವ inherit ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ ಅದು execute ಅದು the constructor execute ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. If you take B first, then class B constructor will execute, then class A constructor will execute. So I have taken first class A, then class B. So class A constructor executes, then class B constructor executes, later class C constructor executes. Now let us call display function obj dot dis close semicolon get ch close. Understood? So this is about constructors in multiple inheritance. I hope you know the difference between constructors in multi-level inheritance and multiple inheritance. Multi-level alli yav level alli yav chain structure yav order inherit agide adu. In multiple, in the header, in the derived class header, which class is which order you have taken, according to that order it executes. Clear? Now, destructors in inheritance. Okay, so far we discussed constructors in inheritance. So, what is the rule? Constructors in inheritance. Base class constructors execute first, then derived class constructor. In the case of destructors, derived class destructor executes first, then base class destructor will execute. This is quite opposite to that constructor. Understood? In constructors in inheritance, though derived class constructor passes the value, derived class constructor executes at last. Base class constructor executes first. In destructors in inheritance, first derived class destructor executes, then base class destructor executes. Then what is the purpose of destructor? We already discussed in the constructors and destructors chapter. When destructors are executed, when the objects are going to be destroyed. So memory allocated to those data members. When we create object, what happens? Memory gets allocated. Okay. When objects are losing its scope, when programs terminated, then object scope will be lost. Then those allocated memory will be reallocated. At that moment, destructors will be executed. Right? Constructors yaವಾಗ ಕಾಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗೋದು ನಾವು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಆಗೋ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತೆ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Actual use of destructor is when we allocated memory dynamically, then we must use a destructor. But in your syllabus, they have given destructor for static allocation. So I explain the same here. So the conclusion is destructors are executed when objects are losing its scope. Okay. So destructors in inheritance. What is the rule of destructors in inheritance? The derived class destructor executes first, then base class destructor. Let us see the example. Class I'll take name of the class is super. Protected. How to write destructor? Destructor name is same as its class name but preceded with tilde operator. should not contain any argument. No? CO. To make you understand which destructor executes first and which next, I have written the CO statement here. Base class destructor. Now class, sub, the name of the class is sub, colon, public. I will inherit this class in a public mode. What is the base class here? Super is the base class. Here also I will take data member, protected, colon, int y, public, derived class constructor sub. Its job is to pass initial value to base class 2, so I must take two parameters here. I will take yum and here. Simply I have taken constructor also. Yes, you need to concentrate on destructor here. Colon, super, yeah, sub, CO, derived class destructor. I did not write display statement. I hope you understood which variable is which value here. Void main. Which class we should create object with the derived class? Which is the derived class here? Sub is the derived class. Sub. It's a single level inheritance. Subclass, it wants to initialize one data member, that is y, and its parent class wants to initialize a data member x. Total how many parameters we should pass to the derived class constructor? 2 parameters. We take name of the object yes, I take 5, 10. Now 5 goes to yum and 10 goes to yum. From these two values, I am going to pass any one of these two to its parent class. I choose n, then 10 goes to p. Now this class constructor will execute first. The 10 copy to x. Okay. After that, this constructor will execute. That is 5 goes to y. Later, that's it. I did not write a display function here. It's understood which value goes to which parameter, which data member. Now, when program is terminated, now the objects are losing its scope. Then which class destructor executes first? Derived class destructor. So it display the statement destruct derived class destructor first. Later it display base class destructor. Understood? So only thing is which class destructor executes first in inheritance. So you have to remember base derived class destructor will execute first, then base class constructor. In the case of constructor, base class constructor will execute first, then derived class constructor. Understood? So this is about constructors and destructors in inheritance. With this, I conclude this chapter. Let us discuss the questions, what type of questions arise from this chapter. So chapter weightage is 5 mark. So don't neglect only 5 mark. 5 mark and the neglect mark value. It's very simple. So the things are more, but once you understand the concept, you can easily write. So 5 mark one question will be come to exam. So what type of questions, what type of 5 mark questions you get? Let us discuss. First question. What is inheritance? Explain the types of inheritance. Explain the types of inheritance. How to write answer for this question? Let us see. You know the definition. You must write the definition here. Definition. What is the definition? Inheritance is a mechanism by which one class acquires the properties of another class. You all know the definition. Now, types. What are the different types? First one, single level. Single level inheritance. So you must write the definition. Pictorial representation. And syntax. It is enough. For all types you must write this one. Definition. What is the definition of single level inheritance? An inheritance which involves only one base class and one derived class. Then it is called single level inheritance. Then pictorial representation. What is the pictorial representation here? A, B. So while arrow mark, if you show arrow mark like this, you have to give the proper explanation here. B properties are inherited to, A properties are inherited to B. If you put arrow like this, B inherits the properties of A. Like this, you have to give the explanation. Here, and write arrow like this. A properties are inherited to B, class B. Okay. And syntax. Class A dot class semicolon class B colon visibility mode. You must write like this. A again dot close semicolon. This is for single level. Then second type, multi-level. Multi-level. Definition. What is the definition of multi-level? A class which is derived from another derived class is called multi-level inheritance. Pictorial representation. A, B and C. Okay. A properties are inherited to class B and B properties are inherited to class C. Now syntax. Class A. Put some dots here, semicolon. Then class B colon visibility mode. Don't write VM. Visibility mode is short abbreviation. You must write the full word. Visibility mode. A. Close semicolon. And class C colon visibility mode B. Now, third type, multiple. Definition. What is the definition? Class which is derived from two or more base classes. That is called multiple inheritance. Now, pictorial representation. Here also don't write PR. You have to write full word pictorial representation. A, B, C. Class A and class B properties are inherited to class C. Syntax. Class class A. Okay. And one more class, class B. Semicolon. Now I write here the continuation part here. Class C colon visibility mode. Visibility mode A, comma, visibility mode B, semicolon. And hierarchical inheritance, definition, pictorial representation. What is the pictorial representation for hierarchical inheritance? Two or more classes are derived from single base class A, B and C. Okay. Now the syntax becomes like this. Syntax. I am writing it so that you can recall what I explained in previous classes. Class A, class B colon visibility mode A, class C colon visibility mode B, sorry, A. B derived from A, C also derived from B. Then hybrid inheritance. I told you there is no particular syntax for hybrid inheritance. We have to consider an example. What is the definition of hybrid inheritance? An inheritance which involves more than one type of inheritance. That is called hybrid inheritance. Syntax, sorry, first I write a pictorial representation. Anything you can choose. Before I took like this, while explaining this topic, I had taken this example. So I will take the same so that you can remember easily. So how to write the syntax? Class A, class B, which is a derived class of A, colon, visibility mode A, close, class C, colon, visibility mode A. Now, class D, which is derived from class B, class D, colon, visibility mode B. So, in this way, you have to write the answer for this question. What is inheritance? And explain the types of inheritance. And now, next question. What is inheritance? Explain any two. Sometimes they will mention the particular type. If they mention particular type or if they ask you explain any one or any two, then you must write a program definition, syntax or definition, pictorial representation, program you must write. Okay. Next. I'll show only one particular type. Explain, second question, explain multiple inheritance. Explain multiple inheritance. So for this question we have to write definition, syntax and example. So explain multiple inheritance. If they ask particular type, you have to write the definition, syntax and example. You can take a simple example what I explained this type. Header 5, class A, public, colon, void show, cout, A is base class. Okay. Next, I'll take another class, class B colon, sorry, multiple, no, it's a separate class. In the public section, void print cout. B is another base class. Now we have to derive a class from class A and class B. Class C colon public. I'll inherit in the public mode, comma public C, sorry, B. In the public section, I'll take a function void this cout. C is derived from class A and class B. Now we have to write a main function, void main. To which class we should create object? To class C obj. Now obj dot show, obj dot print and obj dot display. So which function executes first? Show function. So display A is a base class and print B is another base class and disp C is derived from class A and class B. In the simple way you can explain, you can write the program when they ask particular type. Okay. In the next class, let us discuss some more 5-mark questions. Thank you.